let's talk about the Ford effect. Yeah, I know that was pretty corny. No one knows what that means. I promise you, I'm going to explain it to you in a second. But before I can explain it to you, I really do kind of need you to click that like button. You gotta click the like button, gotta click the subscribe button. If you don't, this channel will actually turn off in 3, 2, 1. Yeah, I guess it's actually not going to turn off, but I would greatly appreciate if you did. And because I know you did, I trust that you did, you might as well go on and click that notification bell so every time I share a new video, you'll be notified. But okay, again, as always, this is Alex Tremble, the career and leadership coach. I'm here to share some great information with you today about networking and specifically about the Ford effect. Okay, again, I tried it. If it didn't work, I'm sorry. Those of you who know me may know a little bit about my history. I was one of the youngest federal employees to ever create and manage an executive leadership development program. I did this when I was 23 years old for an entire federal agency, a cabinet level agency. A few years after that, about 2 or 3 years after that, I was asked to run 3 government-wide leadership development programs. So it's pretty amazing the stuff I got to do very early in my life. And that those things are what actually propelled my career to where I am now and allowed me to gain some really great insights, some learning, and be mentored by some phenomenal individuals who still mentor me today. But there was a problem. When I started to build my own organization, I had this very significant network of industry leaders, of political individuals, of people throughout the government. My mind was like, oh, when I start this business, everyone knows me already. They're going to buy my product. It's not going to be a problem. And there was a problem. There was a huge problem. When I published my first book, I didn't have many sales in the beginning. And when I started my first business, I didn't have many people buying my product and hiring me on. Everyone knew I was good at what I did, but no one was hiring me. And I learned something really recently from a guy who started his business doing the same thing, had a great network, and he shared with me that your friends and close allies aren't really going to support you. And I thought that this was not right, what he said. And then he went on to tell me his story that he had been doing his work in his county for a long time, for years, and everyone saw him as an expert. Everyone went to him. But when he branched out to do his own stuff, no one wanted to contract him. It wasn't until he went to a couple counties over that he started getting a lot of business, and his name started getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And I understood what he was saying, but I didn't understand why that was the case. If these are our friends, these are our colleagues who know us, know how good we are at these things, why wouldn't they support us? Well, I finally figured it out one night after having dinner with a good friend of mine, his wife and my wife. And this is when I learned what I call now the Ford effect. See, we had a wonderful dinner. All of us were just, heading there, kicking back, having a lot of good laughs, a couple of drinks. And as we were on our way home, my wife and I were talking, and I told her that I had noticed something. See, my friend is extremely successful. I mean, he started off in his career, like I started off here, this guy started off here. Like, he is a leader in his profession. He is extremely successful, living a great life. And let me tell you, people would love to be mentored by this guy. I mean, because he's so smart. He knows what he's doing, and he's very successful. And I didn't see him like that at dinner. See, I didn't see him as this uber successful guy who I'm just so blessed to be having dinner with and be able to learn from and sit at his knee. I saw him as Ford. See, I'd known Ford for years. Him and I went to school together. We've gone out to parties together, and we know things about each other that no other people know. I don't see him as this. I know he's smart. I know he's really good at what he's doing, but I'm not enamored to see him like that. He's just, that's Ford. It's a good friend of mine. And that got me thinking even more. See, I have a few mentors who, again, are extremely successful, who've held very, very senior levels in the federal government. And I don't see them as this super high successful SES or a government executive. I see him as, hey, that's Jay. Or hey, that's Gail. Hey, Gail, how you doing, Gail? Hey, I got some advice I want to ask you. I just don't see him in that light. And what I realized is when he was saying that your friends and those close people aren't going to support you as much as you think they would, he was saying that it's because they're too familiar with you. See, when you're familiar with something, it's no longer exciting. You know, like the first time you saw a plane fly into the air as a kid, you were super excited, right? But after seeing hundreds of planes flying in the air, oh, that's a plane flying in the air. You're not excited. It takes something greater, something more to get you excited because you're familiar with it. And that's what I'm saying right now about your networking. See, a lot of people like to stay in their own bubble when they're talking about network. Oh, I'm developing my network. I'm building these strengths. But then when they're looking to make their next move, when they're looking to try something new in their career, when they want to start their own side business, when they want to do something great and they're looking for their network to support them and they don't, they're confused. And they start to believe, and you may start to believe that, well, shoot, maybe these people really aren't my friends. Maybe my family doesn't support me. Maybe a million different things. But the reality is, to you, to them, you're familiar. That's Alex. He's a good friend of mine. But let me tell you, when I was in my initial group of friends and close people sharing my product, everyone was like, oh, that's good. But as soon as I started to get out of my bubble, start joining different organizations, started talking at different conferences, and so on and so forth, everyone was, wow, Alex, these are great learnings. And I started getting more and more business. People started buying my book more and more because they weren't familiar with me. They saw me for who I actually was. They didn't have that tint of familiarity tinting their eyes as far as what products and what benefits I bring to their organization and to them. What I'm sharing with you today is really important. When you want to network, when you want to develop a name and reputation for yourself, you have got to get out of your bubble. You've got to go to organizations that you don't go to. You've got to go to and join groups that you've never thought about joining. You have to go where people don't know your name. So when you come in and you start speaking and you can actually articulate yourself on different topics that your expertise and your strengths, they are going to be blown away and they're going to start talking about you. And when they start talking about you to other friends and their friends and their people, they will actually start talking about you. It's amazing how this works. But you got to get out of your bubble. Below are 3 different books, Reaching Senior Leadership, Strategic Connections, and I'm going to also add below Build Your Reputation. Those are 3 really great books on building your reputation in your network. And I suggest that you read those. Let me know what your thoughts are. I love hearing from you. Again, as always, I post these videos based on the topics that people send me. And so again, I've been getting a lot of great emails and DMs, but I greatly appreciate you guys leaving your comments below because again, that actually helps the algorithm, helps me get this message out to more people, but also allows me to just kind of reply to everyone right there so I can know what you guys are interested in and I can create videos specifically for what you guys are wanting to learn. So as always, stay strong, stay positive, and stay moving. Bye.